Welcome back to the Oppa YouTube channel. I was invited to the Breitling 2024 Novelties launch event this past weekend. Well, many weekends ago. I had this all filmed in around March and April this year, but I just never got around to editing it and putting it out on the channel. Those of you that have been watching my channel for a while would know that Rodeo Jewelers is one of my favorite authorized dealers here in Vancouver, carrying brands from Grand Seiko, Omega, Tudors, Longines, Franck Muller's, Zenith, and they are also the authorized dealer, the boutique here in Vancouver for Breitling watches. And earlier this year, during around the period of Watches and Wonders, they invited me to attend their 2024 Novelties launch event. And for me, I've never really been a big historian or collector when it comes to Breitling's. I know of the Chronomat because my old boss used to have one. He had like one of the old Colt automatics. And then I've also seen a few other models like the Navitimer flying around. This event was an eye-opener for me. There were so many good-looking Navitimers. I think Breitling has shifted away a little bit from those big dinner plate, Petri-looking dish-looking Navitimers with the outer black and the white inside, or vice versa, to the more slimmed-down, I guess, dressier versions that just has one color throughout the dial. Here we have the Navitimer 41 GMT in the baby blue, turquoise, Tiffany blue, whatever you want to call it, because of all the hype on the color over the past couple of years. It is actually a really good looking watch, a little feminine I would say, but the size definitely makes up for it. And there's also a black version, which to me was probably my favorite watch that they launched this year. It had an amazing profile, coming in at 41 millimeters across and only 11.6 millimeters thick. It uses the Breitling Caliber 32, which I'm just gonna be honest, I don't know a lot about Breitling movements, but definitely it is a very good looking movement. Aside from the Navitimers, I also saw a lot of Breitling Premier B01s. This is like their premier chronograph collection that is very fancy, but to me the size is a little too big, coming in at 42 millimeters across. I also saw my favorite Super Chronomat of all time. This is not a 2024 new release, but I feel like I just had to point it out. It is the first time that I got hands-on with this monstrosity. This is the Breitling Super Chronomat 44. It's got two dials. You got the automatic on the main head using the B01 movement as well. And then you got this little quartz GMT thing. Hey, what's up? Yo, check out this one. It just looks like that. I'll throw a picture here up on the screen, but I've seen a meme made about it on Instagram before of someone. It's like this monster that had two heads, like a head coming out of its stomach. I don't know, I found it to be so, like, I feel like I just get gravitated towards these weirder looking watches. Like I'm looking at the Tudor Hydro 1200, I'm looking at like the Tudor Hydronauts, like all these non-conventional watches. I find the beauty in them for some odd reason. Maybe that's why this channel is called Opel. But I got hands-on with it, and even though I don't think it's something that I will ever get to rock because my wrist just can't support a 44 millimeter monstrosity like that, it is still so cool. And holding it in my hand, it doesn't feel cheap. Or you know, some of these brands, like you see the pictures online, it looks great, usually with micro brands, but definitely some brands in the thousands to 10,000 tier as well. Like you see the pictures, you see the renderings, it looks all great, but then when you get hands-on with it, it just feels like there's a little bit more to be desired. Breitling definitely does not give that feeling. If anything, I would say that their watches in hand feel a lot more robust. A lot more care has been put into creating this, like from designing it to executing it. It's a lovely brand, and I think even though I've never considered a Breitling up to this point, I think it might be somewhere further in the roadmap for me to pick up a Breitling. I always saw Breitling as that sort of dad watch. Maybe it's because all of the people that I've seen worn it are a little bit, you know, in their 30s, 40s with kids kind of thing. So I'm totally open to the idea of eventually getting myself a Breitling. Maybe just not now, because I still have a few more Tudors, a few more JLCs that I want to try out. Overall, it was an amazing experience here at Rodeo Jewelers 2024 Breitling Boutique Novelties launch event. That was a mouthful. But aside from that, I also got to try on a lot of different other watches, and one of my favorite watches from this trip was actually a Grand Seiko. It was the Grand Seiko Wakaba Sakura, I think it was called. It is a high beat, 36,000 beats per hour kind of thing, beats per minute, I'm not super sure. But it was one of the coolest watches, and I want to show you that right now. Thank you so much. I came here with a couple of buddies, met a couple more. We all shared our common interests in watches. Rodeo Jewelers, I know I talk about them a lot, but it is definitely one of the best places to look at watches, meet people. You don't necessarily have to like go in there with the pretense of buying something or get pressured into buying something. Like all the sales associates here are super chill, they're super knowledgeable. And for us, it was an amazing experience. I mean, there's booze being served, like we got cocktails. There were food like caviar platters. During the event only, it's probably not when you go in there on a regular weekday. It's probably not the treatment that you're gonna get. But we met a lot of great guys, and one of the guys actually had a root beer. He was telling us the story of how he got it. My buddy here, he was rocking the Tissot PRX automatic, the smaller version, which Rodeo Jeweler doesn't carry, so I guess you could see it as a bit of a rare watch for the occasion, since most guys there were wearing pretty big hitters. We looked at a couple Longines, we looked at a couple Ulysse Nardins, and then our eyes just landed in the Grand Seiko cabinet. I saw this Sakura Wakaba. I don't even know what that means. I think it means like, well, Sakura means cherry blossom, but Wakaba, maybe it means green. But it's like the coolest style. It's like a minty pistachio. I know those two words are very overplayed, especially over on the other side with Breitling. They have a Super Premier B01. They call it the pistachio dial, but this year, this was something very special. There was this like almost a snowflake. Well, it is, I think, referred to as a snowflake texture, but the way that it shines off in green is just so different than like the pink or the baby blue that Grand Seiko has done before. And the way the watch fell to my hand is just, oh, it's so perfect. And I don't know, I've never really considered adding a Grand Seiko again back to my collection. The last one I had was the SPGH 267, and it was only 15-meter water resistant, so I had to move it on because I get into the water a lot. But this watch here, it just felt so perfect. And I don't know, like I don't want to get tempted into buying another watch, especially a Grand Seiko, but I just want to leave that here. Maybe I will come back and revisit it as sort of like a journal or a diary in the future and look at how perfect this watch was. But I really wanted to share that with you, and hopefully someone watching this video can take interest on this watch. I really think that this is my favorite watch in the Grand Seiko catalog right now. Beats the white birch, beats the divers with the weird like, yeah. Just go check this watch out. Thank you guys so much for watching this video to the end. I have a lot of catching up to do. I had my prediction earlier this year of what Tudor would launch during Watches and Wonders. I got half of it correct. They did launch the new Black Bay 41 in black. Did they launch it in blue? I don't recall. But I think they did launch it in black. They didn't give a refresh to the Black Bay 58, but they came up with a cool few other novelties that I think definitely is on the lineup to be added to my collection. So with that being said, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Make sure to like and subscribe if you appreciate this style of content, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.